Hi.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Race Mighty Live. A full month of doing live broadcast, 4 weeks in a row. We're excited.
Yeah, we made it 4 weeks in a row, and I forgot the party hats and the cupcakes, but it is worth celebrating because it's consistency and it's showing up, which also kind of speaks volumes to what triathlon is. Consistency, consistency, showing up, growing a community, and that's what we're trying to do here every Wednesday night at 7:05 p.m. Central Time. And we thank the OGs, the day oneers who have been with us all along the way, and we're grateful whether it's your fourth time or your first time or somewhere in between. We are glad you're here for Race Mighty Live. I'm Tiffany, that's Caitlin, and we are excited for the show that we have for you today. We're going to talk about the marginal gains that the triathlon marketing specialists want you to think you need to pay for. We have a great question about strength training in triathlon, and then what you've all been waiting for. We know the reason that you are here is to see the exclusive video of Caitlin's worst triathlon mistake, and we're going to talk other mistakes as well and lessons that we've learned from those. But we are excited for the show that we've got ready for you tonight, and we're again just grateful you're here. Get involved in the chat, get involved in the comments.
Speaking about some of y'all that have been here since day one, Dana, I know you're out there. You've been here since day one. That really means so much. And also, she was our athlete spotlight and our community spotlight. If you haven't seen it yet, haven't had a chance to go read it, I suggest that you do so immediately after this. After this Race Mighty Live. She's got some really good words of wisdom in there that we can all follow.
Yeah, and then there's the website on the screen. We have a little community hub that we've built out that has places that triathletes can share their story. We have a race calendar where you can just add the race that you're doing and maybe connect with others. And we're really proud of what we're starting to build. It's taking time, but any good thing does. You build the foundation, and then people start to hear what you're doing, they like what you're doing, and they come back, they tell a friend, and it just continues to grow. But talking about the share your story, that's something that we have always wanted to do some version of that, because when we go out for a run or we're out working out and we see someone else, we just cross paths and you're in the moment. You don't have time to talk to them, but you always wonder if they had little thought bubbles above their heads, like what are they training for? Why are they out here?
Right.
And that's what the Share Your Story community highlight section of our website is about. It's everyday triathletes. What's your why? What's your motivation? We all have reasons. We are all inspiring in our own ways. You don't have to be a professional or an elite to share your story or to inspire someone else. In fact, I think it's even more powerful that age groupers and people who balance jobs and life and don't have the luxury of just training. And of course, there's a lot about being a professional, not knocking that, but there's a lot that's inspiring about the regular humans in the sport.
And I also love when we share these community spotlights. Like every week we'll get a message saying, oh, we know him or her. And it's so great how interconnected this community is, but also at the same time, we're widening the community, sharing each one of these each week.
And I love when it pops up in my email to see the stories, to read the stories. In fact, the story that we're going to feature next week, the athlete that we're featuring next week, shared a story about how they knew who we were and that we had inspired them to do the sport. And I had no idea. And we've known this person for a few years. I had no idea. And it's just so empowering to read other perspectives and hurdles. And I tell you what, I get inspired every single time, and it's easily becoming one of my favorites. And if you're out there and you're hesitant on sharing your story, do it, because I guarantee you there is something special about what you have to share, whether it's a race goal, whether it's a hurdle you've overcome, whether it's just getting started in the sport. Share it, and you might inspire someone else and get someone else to the start line. And just share the community website, go there, check it out.
Definitely so. Whew. Wow.
I'm excited for the show. I want to get through the show, but I also want to get to the video of you.
Oh my gosh.
It's great.
You say it's exclusive, but I think it's been out there in the world a time or two. I think actually when we posted something similar earlier this week, they couldn't wait to see it again. So.
Yeah, so it's coming up soon. But
coming.
first, we have some other segments to get through first.
Just how much is 1 watt really worth? How to make real gains while saving money.
Yes, that's something I wanted to talk about tonight is the marginal gains. Let's go over to active topic 2. So let's go there. Let's take this
Live
off the
show,
screen.
everybody.
This is live, y'all. It's just us. We don't have a producer sitting in the corner. We don't have a high budget. I think for what we have on screen, I'm pretty impressed with it. We have
Betsy and Sam are sleeping on the job.
Yeah, but it's just us. So forgive us if it's not perfect or polished, and maybe I sometimes forget to set the topic. But I did want to talk about marginal gains. And, you know, this sport is expensive. There's no way around it because you are doing 3 sports, right? Bicycles are incredibly expensive. We know that. And all the gear you need just to line up to the start line. Now, you honestly don't need a ton of gear, but a lot of that gear is pricey. And what kind of bugs me in the sport of triathlon is that you're made to feel that you're always chasing faster, and a lot of times that you have to buy faster. You have to buy a faster setup on your bike. You have to buy a faster bike. You have to buy faster shoes. You have to buy whatever is the big trend. And then don't even get me started on nutrition and supplements and that you need this because it's going to boost your blood oxygen or whatever the claim is or whatever the trend, the latest greatest trend in the moment is. But you don't need a lot of those things. Honestly, what you need in the sport of triathlon is really just consistency. If you want to get faster on the bike, bike more. If you want to get faster or stronger on the run, run more. And the same thing for swimming. Invest that time in yourself, because the marginal gains that you're going to pay for really aren't going to make a huge difference. Now, if you're splitting hairs because you're going for a specific spot on the podium or a specific qualification, then maybe. But if you're just getting into the sport, don't buy into the hype. Don't buy into what you have to have. There's a lot of marketing out there, and it's just you don't need it.
Right. Yeah, like Tiff was saying, make your workouts count. Make your hard workouts hard. Make your easy workouts easy. And, the pros, they've got a job they've got to do, and they're getting sponsored by vendors, but they may be getting paid to tell you one thing. It's because they're getting paid. It might not be the right thing for you.
And they may not be drinking their greens, but they're telling you because, they're making money. And I do not fault them for it, but I promise you, you do not need that.
I will say there is one thing you that would be best to spend some money on, and that is a bike fit. You need to make sure that the bike you do have fits to you, because you can make some really good gains if you just have a proper fit.
Absolutely. And another thing, too, that you need to be cognizant of is that sleep and recovery are absolutely key. I mean, that's like the best thing that you can do for recovery, and that is sleep, rest.
Don't feel guilty for taking that nap.
Caitlin is definitely all about taking
As I've
naps.
had a few years into this sport, in my younger years, I was like, I don't need a nap. But now that I've, maybe in a new age group, I welcome the naps.
Yeah, and then sleep hygiene is a thing too. It's like, it can be easy to get caught scrolling in the evenings or doing whatever, this or that, and then the time gets away from you. Set a time where you set your phone away, you turn off the notifications, and just relax. Let your mind relax, and then allow yourself to be more comfortable, more recovered for the next day's workouts, because sleep is definitely not talked about enough, but it is probably the best way that you can recover, and that will help you make gains, because if you are rested and recovered, you can train harder and then recover better and then lather, rinse, repeat.
Right. And you don't have to go on a diet. You just need a healthy lifestyle. Anything is okay in moderation. That's after having a big workout, one of the treats is you get to have a big meal. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and you don't have to go crazy, but you can have a nice meal because you know that you are training, but don't make it a constant thing.
Right. No. A little sweet treat's not bad every now and then. Also, a clean bike is a fast bike. So check those chains, everybody. Make sure there's no buildup of grease because it can happen, from the sweat and nutrition that comes off of you. It starts to build up.
Yeah, you can get those marginal gains with spending very little to no money. Don't get caught up in the hype. And yeah, that's my rant on marginal gains. Thanks for listening.
This week's aid station question comes from Chaz IM. Training for 3 sports makes it hard to find motivation for big weight sessions. How often and how long do you recommend strength training?
I think this is a common question. Mm-hmm. This is a common triathlete question.
And I think it's good. I think that strength training is starting to come up in the conversation more than it used to.
Yeah, it's something that people, I think, get caught up in the influencer culture, and you see hybrid athletes and people just crushing all kinds of workouts, and yeah, you kind of want to feel like that you have to do that too. You feel like, oh, well, if I'm not doing this, I'm not doing good enough, or I see them having great races and I must do what they do. But that's really not true. Strength training is important. And I will also say, in addition to strength training, mobility is important as well, especially as you get older in the sport. You need to make sure the body is moving. You need to be gentle with your body. You need to find movements that kind of help your body adapt to the stress and the strain that it's under when you're doing swim, bike, and run, especially the bike. Your body is in that position for so long, and name me a cyclist that doesn't have a hip or a lower back issue or a knee issue at some point in their career. But for strength training, don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink it. Don't overdo it. I think as a triathlete, you could honestly get away if you, and you don't even have to do it. Like, you will be fine, but it doesn't hurt. It'll kind of help your injury resilience. It'll help your body. It'll help imbalances. But if you're going to do strength training, you could literally get away with 20 or 30 minutes 2 or 3 times a week. And, don't go do hero lift sessions in the gym. You can do some, basic movements, some compound movements, and you're going to be okay. Don't make strength training one more thing that stresses you out about triathlon training.
I think when we were really into our strength program, I don't think we ever spent more than 40 minutes in the gym at a time.
Yeah, very rarely. Like, sometimes if we just felt like we wanted to lift a little
extra
longer,
time,
or we wanted to spend a little more time doing mobility before we started. But yeah, we try to get in and out and not just live in the gym. And another thing that we tried to do is kind of piggyback our strength sessions after our swim session. So if we have to go to the gym to swim, we might as well head into the weight room and do 20 or 30 minutes in the gym there, do some strength, and then we're good. Also, make sure that you're not lifting so much that it impacts your swim, bike, and run training. Like, if you're lifting too hard and you can't run the next day, well, you're not really benefiting your body. You're not benefiting yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, getting back to swimming and doing weights at the gym, if you're going to do the combo, we suggest swimming first and then doing weight lifts, because you don't want to go swimming after lifting weights, because your arms are not going to be happy with you.
Yeah, it's definitely a feeling. And then another, maybe a rule of thumb that's been in the triathlon world before is if you want to do leg day, do that after your long run. And because your legs are already kind of under that stress, they've already been under that. Now, you're not going to go have PR numbers lifting in the gym after you've done that long run, but it'll be okay, because hopefully either the next day is an easy day for you or a recovery day completely off. So, just be smart about structuring it. But yeah, again, you don't have to be in the gym constantly. You don't have to lift every day. And
you don't even have to be in the gym.
Sure.
you can do a workout at your house, and you don't even have to have a whole wet weight set. You can just some mobility bands, a mobility pole. I mean, you can do a lot with just some bands, your body weight, and a broomstick. It's amazing. And there's on YouTube, you can find countless episodes, 20 to 30 minutes long, of some really solid full body workouts using minimal equipment.
Another thing that is a good tip that I like especially is doing calf raises while we brush our teeth in the morning and in the evening. Do like 3 sets of 10 or 15 calf raises and that'll help. And another thing to focus on if you are going to do strength training, work on the muscles that you really need to engage in triathlon. So the glutes, the hamstrings, the calves, make sure you're doing shoulder mobility for the swimming, so there's things that you can do. You don't have to spend a whole morning or afternoon in the gym to get those gains that you need. 2 or 3 times a week, 20 to 30 minutes, and you'll be golden. Thanks for the question, Chaz. We appreciate it.
Mistakes? We've made them. We share so you don't have to learn the hard way.
All right, we've made it.
Here we go.
All right, so we had quite a few folks send us some input on the mistakes that they've made, and we think it's important to share the mistakes because that's how we learn from them. So this one kind of actually had a connection to my fail. We will leave everyone anonymous so that we don't have any public shaming, but this person did not take any electrolytes during their bike ride and had a DNF as a result. And so my biggest triathlon fail is that on race morning in Augusta a few years ago, I did not put my water bottle on my bike. I had up front a concentrated 3-hour mix of Infinite nutrition, hydration, electrolytes. Like it was thick. It was like very thick. There's no way that I could have had that to drink without water to chase it. That's always the plan. So I knew that if I tried to drink it early in the bike ride, then I would be in trouble. My stomach would be in trouble and it would not be good. So I had to make the decision that, well, I'm just going to have to go the first 15 miles till I get to that first aid station to get some water. At that point, it was a warm, muggy day. It's Augusta, right? I was already behind on my nutrition and my hydration. And from that point on, for the rest of the race, there was no catching up. And it just made the day worse and worse and worse. The bike wasn't great. The run was awful. The race overall just wasn't a good experience, all because I forgot a water bottle. So the lesson I learned in that is to triple check my bike every single time I set up in transition. And I always now make sure that water bottle's on there. So that's the lesson that I learned. Some other ones, here's a good one. Someone forgot their bike shoes going to a race. So, have that checklist.
Yeah, I think this is actually a common mistake I've heard of numerous people throughout the years forgetting their bike shoes. I don't know what it is about the bike shoes, but...
And we have forgotten something going to a race as well.
We have. It was a Olympic in Waco. We were staying in a hotel not too far out. And for whatever reason, I put the wetsuits in the closet, out of sight, out of mind. We were halfway to the race venue. And oh, by the way, we don't have wetsuits.
Oops.
Oopsie.
Another one, this one was trying to leave T2 with the bike helmet still on. That's hilarious, but you have race brain.
Yeah, that happens. I've actually seen people go out on their bike still wearing their swim skin. So at least you weren't wearing your swim skin?
Yeah. All right. So Caitlin has a mistake that she's made. Let's just play it back.
We weren't going to make all this public.
This is why we're all here, right? So, this is Caitlin.
Indian Wells 70.3. I honestly don't remember the year. 22?
I think 22.
As you can see, I'm coming out of T1. Well, trying to. I was in the complete wrong gear. Could not get clipped in. Everything was going wrong. I don't know what I was thinking beforehand, and I don't know what I was thinking currently other than just, please get me up this hill somehow. Lesson learned, always check the gear your bike is in for whatever out you got to take to get out of T1. As you can see, it was a hill. I was in a really hard gear. could not get up, couldn't get clipped in.
I got to
It
play
was
that back
just-
again. Because I think the
Is there
commentary
audio
too.
on
Yeah,
this?
there's
Or
audio.
do y'all
Yeah.
turn it- Oh,
Yeah.
sorry if I maybe dropped some foul
Yeah,
language in
you
here.
were definitely flustered. And I like the spectators on the side, like, what is that crazy lady doing? She has this expensive bike and like
This aero helmet. and-
am I gonna see sometimes you don't have to pay for the marginal gains. You just
Learn how to use your equipment.
make sure you're in the right gear and be aware of your surroundings. What is the situation coming out of transition?
But I will tell you that race on, I have made it a point to always check what is coming out of T1, what gear do I need to be in. And if you're not exactly sure, it's always best to be in a little bit easier gear than harder gear, because you don't want to end up making a fool of yourself like I did in front of so many people. And now it's out there on the internet for it to live forever, for y'all to have joy in. So,
But sometimes, we do have to laugh at ourselves, and it's okay.
and that's part of being human, right? And also you gotta learn how to laugh at yourself.
Absolutely. And we've had many laughs.
And allow others to laugh
A
with
lot of
you.
friends have had some good laughs with us, and just a good time. But anyway, learn from the lessons, learn from the mistakes, and hopefully this will help some of you before your next race that you don't make these mistakes as well.
And we've made it to the big finish. You know we're running down the red carpet with our hands in the air.
Hands in the air.
Woo! Get up, everybody, get up. Oh my gosh, these just go so quickly. I'll let you take it away.
Okay, I do want to give a shout out for our athletes that have been putting their roll call events up. We had Kyle Berry doing the Boulder Peak Olympic last weekend. He made it to the podium, so huge shout out to Kyle Berry. And also Kimberly Wright, she towed the line at 70.3 Ruidoso. Ruidoso looked amazingly beautiful, but also so challenging at the same time. Like the swim started at like 7,200 feet. Of,
I'm
just
Ruidoso is like 7,200 feet elevation, so anything in that race was up there. And for most people, you're not living at that elevation, and it's hard to train and acclimate. So
I can't even imagine swimming 1.2 miles at that elevation, then having to go vertical onto your bike. I just can't imagine how your head must be feeling at that point.
Yeah,
So,
I know. I mean, I know we've done Boulder. It's not. I know it's
it's higher than Boulder.
I know it's a lot higher than Boulder, but Boulder is Boulder is a challenge. So just to think that you're about 1,000 feet higher, man. Again, but it looks like everyone had a great time. We didn't have anybody on the race roll call that did Muncie, but did anyone see the torrential
Holy cow.
downpours at Muncie? Like that's crazy. Like if you haven't
Muncie monsoon.
if you haven't checked out the social media posts for 70.3 Muncie, check those out because it was insane. But yeah, for Ruidoso, like what a great experience. Like if people talk about Ironman being too easy and looking for the easy swim courses, looking for the downstream swims, like I know there's a lot of old school triathletes still out there that still want the challenge, still want to do the hard races. I think that's going to be the one, especially in North America, for people to try. So, but thanks to Kyle, thanks to Kimberly for sharing their races, and you can drop your race also on the website. Again, go to teamsaunderstri.com/community, and you can
Next week,
Go ahead.
Sorry,
Go
I didn't mean to cut you off. Next week we have 70.3 Ohio in Sandusky, Ohio. We have Chelsea Owens doing that, and everyone send her all the good vibes that you can. This is going to be her very first half Ironman, so we are excited for her. We know that she is excited amongst other emotions, and that's totally okay to have. I mean, there's a lot that goes into a half Ironman, and it's okay to have the feelings.
Yeah, and Chelsea is also an athlete who has been featured on our Share Your Story. So again, just scroll through there and go check out the incredible community that is in our sport. And I guarantee you that you're going to want to be rooting for Chelsea on Sunday at 70.3 Ohio. We hope that everyone racing in Sandusky this weekend has the best experience, similar to what we had when we raced it a couple years ago. I think we had the perfect weather.
We did get
you know,
lucky.
that swim is known for being choppy. The bike course is known for being windy. The run is great because you're just weaving through the downtown streets and everyone comes out to cheer you on and support, and it's wonderful. But I think, yeah, we got the best situation that we could have a couple years ago. It's one of our favorite races, so we are sending the good energy, the good weather as best we can. We can't control that.
The easy currents and chop in the water. We know as long as you get through the swim, everything after that is just pristine. It's a great bike course. It's a great run course. It's just, sometimes a swim, it can be pretty challenging. And this is a challenging swim.
Yeah, and I think that goes true to just about any course. I know, yes, there are the downstream swims, but open water is just intimidating and scary on its own. We actually just did a video on swimming in the open water and how to get comfortable, so you can check that out. It's on our YouTube page. Not really, I wasn't trying to bring up a self-plug there, but gives you some tips on how to get comfortable in the open water and, not necessarily get faster in the open water, but just overcome the fear and the natural inherent nervousness that you have swimming in open water. Like, I'm a swimmer, and my first few open water swims were intimidating to me because it's a whole different ball game. So
yeah, my first open water swims, girl, it was rough go for me. I didn't know if I was gonna make it, but yet I did each time. But it slowly, after each one, it gets a little bit better. It does.
Awesome. Well, I think that's it for episode 4 of Race Mighty Live. We appreciate everyone who joined and the comments that came in. Hey, share this, spread the word, keep coming back. And if you have any topics that we should add for the show next week, feel free to send them our way. Thanks for watching.